A couple years ago, I take the stage at this big event to give a keynote address. I started to talk about something that kind of choked me up, got me emotional. I started to tear up on stage, and I immediately stopped and tried to recover super quick and deliver my message. Because what was going through my mind at the time was, you can never let them see you cry. I realized pretty quickly that wasn't the right mindset to have, because I had a great coach and mentor that shared some things with me that helped me change my mindset. And I want to share with you a couple things to help you as a business owner in your 40s. We sometimes get locked into certain frameworks and mindsets, and often we need to change those to improve and grow our business. And I'm gonna share those with you today. You know, when you're starting a business, especially in your 40s, what you bring to the business is a lot of experience and certain thoughts that you already have. Like, just a lot of experience has conditioned some of those thoughts. And as you bring that in, what you realize is what you knew and what you developed may not be what's gonna help you get to that next level in your business, especially as you're starting a new business. Because your thoughts will lead to your actions lead to your habits, and the habits will bring you to the right results. I write about this in my book called Now Make Good. But what often happens is we hit these ceilings, right? We hit these ceilings, like, feel like I've just done all that I can. I hit a ceiling, I hit a ceiling, I hit a ceiling. And it all starts with a change of our mindset. And so how do you change your mindset? How do you change your attitude? The first is to become aware of it. The way to really become aware of that mindset and how you have to shift is who you surround yourself with. I would highly encourage you to find somebody who has been or is where you want to be that can help you grow your business. Somebody who can speak directly right at you and tell you the things you need to hear. Flash, go back to that event. Here I am on stage, and I'm so worried about how I appeared on stage. And as I'm speaking to a mentor of mine, and he walks up and he says, "Hey, can I give you some feedback?" Reluctantly, but yes. And he just looked at me really sincerely, and he said, "That was great." He said, "There were some things on the delivery we could deliver, but that was great. I think for the first time, they got to see you." And what he meant by that was being vulnerable was a mindset shift I had to make. See, in growing my company and leading and scaling, I always thought I have to have the right answers. I have to know what's right. I have to lead with strength. I have to always be strong and know where we're going and all of that. That vulnerability was weakness. The reality was in that vulnerable moment, as I talked about my family and some of the things that were close to me, that mindset shift happened. That vulnerability is what then people saw, man, I can relate to that. And that was a mindset shift for me. For you to have those mindset shifts, it's gonna require somebody in your life who can continually give you feedback on the things you're doing and saying. You know, we sort of around here and on our team, sometimes we'll say things and we immediately cut the person off or stop or change that, right? So if I'll give you an example, we were in a meeting one time, and again, just a quick mindset shift. And these are constant because remember, thoughts lead to the actions. So we're in this meeting, I'm facilitating it, and someone raises their hand and says, hey, I don't mean to be rude, but, and before he even gets that out, someone else in the room stops and goes, "Well, yeah, you do. What do you mean? If you start a sentence, I don't mean to be rude, but that's actually what you intend to do. Why would you say that then?" And then, like, we all stopped and we went, "Wow, that was interesting." And he kind of caught himself and he realized really quickly, I have to shift that, because if I'm saying, "Hey, I don't mean to be rude, but," or "I didn't mean to interrupt." Well, no, you did mean to interrupt. And it just shifted the whole mindset of the group that, okay, what you're about to say, think about what you're saying. Is it really gonna be rude? Are you really gonna cut this person off? And he sort of gathered himself and he shifted, I'm sure, before it came out of his mouth, what he was about to say next. When you create an environment of people around you that can help you be accountable to the actions and the mindset and the things you say, because remember, your words are the actions. I even do this with our young football team that I coach. You know, just this last week, they were talking about it. They're like, "Hey, if we win this week, you know, in our playoffs, this is what happens." I'm like, "Whoa, hold up. When we win this week, this is what happens." Right? You have to change the way you think, the way you look at things. You're gonna experience this in your business, especially for people in their 40s. You have to look at it this way. You're gonna come to a certain fork in the road, right? You're gonna go to a customer, you're gonna present to them. You're gonna feel like you got this in the bag. Man, they're totally in, they bought my product, they're gonna buy my service, you totally get this person's in. Well, this is what happened with this young football team. We got our rear ends kicked by a team we should have beat. So I'm standing in front of these young men and I realized, I said to them, "Look, you have two choices. You could see this as a loss or you could write this up as a lesson. It's just a loss, we put it in the loss column and we walk away. Or it's a lesson and we learn from it." So I asked these young men, I said, "What did you learn at this game?" "Hey, I didn't work hard enough. I didn't do my job. I tried to do somebody else's." The list went on. I said, "Great, for whatever it is for you, that's the lesson you learned. Now, how do you shift your mind this next week to prepare for the next one?" Look, so when you have a customer that cancels, wants their money back, wants a refund as you're growing your business, shift your mindset. This isn't a loss, it can be a lesson. And how do I turn it into a lesson? Well, you ask great questions, you get feedback, and now you shift your mind. Too often what happens is we get our feelings hurt and we say, "Oh, that stupid customer, they didn't understand, they didn't do this, they didn't do that. If they'd only do this. I'd love my business if it weren't for people." Start the mindset shift. What could I have done better? How could I improve? How can I break through that ceiling? by changing my thoughts, which then create a different action. Now those actions coupled together in a sequence create a new habit. And when I have different thoughts, changing my mindset that lead to different actions that change the habits, I get a completely different result. And that, my friend, is how you break through the ceiling. And when you have that formula that you can now change your mindset and start to change the way you're operating, then anytime you hit a ceiling, you don't see it as a bad thing, you see it as a good thing. You see it as a thing, oh man, I'm about to have my next breakthrough. And now you rush to the next ceiling and you're not worried about it again. You have another breakthrough. And what you realize is quickly you're rising through each floor. And now you look back and you don't recognize the person you were 2 years ago. That's the hope. The hope is you don't get from a year from now and go, yeah, I'm the same person when I look in the mirror. No, I should be better. How do I change the mindset that's going to put me on a path to improve the new actions that I take? Because I tell you, going down the path of being an entrepreneur is challenging. And in fact, sometimes during the same day, maybe even in the same hour, you're up, you're down, you're up, you're down, right? Hey, I made that sale, lost a customer, made another sale, lost a customer. It can feel like a roller coaster of emotion. It can feel like up and down all day long. And what I believe in you as a business owner in your 40s is that you've got the experience and the stability to be able to do that on a consistent basis. And if you do that, you're on the path to having a great, successful business.